We often think of stillness as finite, a narrowing of the experience of seeing and being. But the opposite is true. When we pause and reflect, transparency emerges. And with this, the landscape for me opens up. It unfolds and there is clarity in the distance. I'm often asked about my first experience with art, and I really don't have one. I had a very creative childhood. I had a mother who really encouraged us to be creative and draw and paint and, make things. That creative expression was also encouraged with a freedom we had to roam and explore local bushland, the hills and area around where we lived, which was very much then on the urban edge of Canberra. That exploration and creative freedom, I think, carried on in me and probably encouraged me into becoming an artist. I travelled overseas and was lucky enough in 1981 to see the new Glass Now exhibition at the Victorian Albert Museum in London. I walked in and was just literally blown away by what could be done with glass. I'd also, whilst I was travelling in Britain, seen my first hot shops and, checking out blown glass, hot glass, and thought, this is a really exciting thing to study. On my return to Australia, I discovered that there was a glass course starting up, a brand new glass course at the Canberra School of Art. I applied for that course in 1982 and started my degree in 1983 under the renowned Klaus Moyer, who'd travelled to Australia from Germany to develop and run that course. Klaus was the most amazing teacher, and I think one of the most important things he did was actually make work in front of us. Watching Klaus work and create his work and talk to him about material and process was really important. What I really love, though, are the wilder places. The idea of edge and boundary, of where I walk, of where I explore. Topography, vegetation, animal tracks push me over a hill in a certain direction at a certain pace. Natural wonders, however small, stop me, create pauses to my way. The experience of these things is what I want and aim to share with others through my artwork. In the studio, creating the work acts to anchor the ideas somewhere recognisable, somewhere tangible. And it's then that I start to bring those qualities of the material, translucency, clarity, transparency into what I'm creating. Cold working. It's quite different in a way. I mean, it transforms material, but I'm often talking about surface or the edge of glass. It can be a slightly more decorative process, but it can also just change something from transparency to translucency, which has a huge effect on the final outcome. And I think that's something I'm really interested in. Kiln forming involves working with sheet glass, starting with that in the kiln, and it's provided me with endless possibilities and exploration. I'm interested in times of solitude, the peace of it and the freedom attached to it, and the space that it offers me. It's time to reflect and to think of where I might be headed. Freedom allows stillness, and stillness offers possibility. I really love exploring the possibilities of a sheet of glass, heat and gravity. Just what heat can do to a sheet of glass and how I can manipulate it without physically getting in there and touching the material. The folds of the landscape, the gullies, the hills, the mountains, I now see emerging in the folded glass. Glass has a freedom of its own in the kiln. What I'm hoping too in the work, that the glass retains as a final form that sense of movement, of flow, of freedom that I feel. My presence at first surfaced deep, a layer, not an embedded element. I returned to visit place and stillness within place again and again. Within this stillness lies the potential to observe, to listen and hear, and to start to understand the breadth of place and how I might inhabit it.